I'm Alison Frischke, Senior Research Officer with BCG, and I'm here today to talk about a trial that we got at the Watchupga site about dryland legume pasture systems. The trial is funded by the Australian Government for the Rural Research and Development for Profit project, also partnered with AWI, GRDC and MLA. And we've conducted this trial alongside SARDI and Mallee Sustainable Farming. So the aim of the trial is to have a look at hard-seeded legumes. In the past, medic and subclovers have been part of many farming systems, but over the years, seed banks have declined due to droughts, due to variable seasons, due to intensification of farming systems, often including grain legumes too. So seed banks of hard-seeded pastures or softer-seeded pastures have been sprayed out. For the past 30 years, Western Australia in particular have been developing certain pasture lines, and more recently into New South Wales and South Australia, and now in Victoria we're demonstrating here some of those new pasture types that have emerged that show some traits that are favourable for persisting through a longer phase of cropping and can come back, provide a regenerated pasture, growing feed for our sheep and fixing nitrogen for the subsequent wheat crop. In our evaluation trial here we're looking at several varieties. We have Bartolo bladder clover, Frano ceradella, Seraph medic, formerly known as PM250 but released this year, rose clover, Trigonella, arrowleaf clover and Studenitsa and Morava vetch. We've also got two sowing dates comparing an end of April sowing on the 27th of April as well as the end of May, so 4 weeks later, just showing that time of sowing effect on biomass production. We're also evaluating sowing rate. Most of the varieties here have been sown at higher sowing rates, so about double what they normally would, to replicate or to mimic what we'd see in a regenerating pasture situation. So for the Seraph medic though, we've got 4 sowing rates. We're looking at the high rate, 20, the recommended rate at about 10, and 2 farmer rates, or more likely to be a farmer rate, particularly if it's sown in a mix at 2.5 and 5 kilos per hectare. And all the varieties have been sown with their correct rhizobial groups. Throughout the season we're having a look at emergence, we're having a look at nodulation, we're also looking at flowering, maturity biomass, pod set and regeneration of plants in 2022. So we're looking at total biomass production and what value they're providing for sheep in the system. When we consider the evaluation trials through South Australia and into Victoria, on the more alkaline soils, medic tends to be the proven performer, producing more biomass than ceradella. As we come here on more neutral sands in Victoria at Speed and at Gilgil, ceradellas actually perform quite well, better than the medic. All these varieties are quite tolerant of acid soils, and in New South Wales though, they did show a response of 2 to 3 tonnes of biomass when they were able to increase. So they increased the pH from 4.2 to 5, so they do show a response to improved soil using lime amendments. One feature that these legume alternatives have been selected for is harvestability. So they're aerial seeded types, so you can harvest the seed on farm. And the seed dormancy, the hard seededness of the different varieties can vary between different types. Some are quite sensitive to high temperatures in summer. Others will respond to fluctuating temperatures late summer going into autumn. For the ceradella, the Frano ceradella, it's been shown that it copes quite well in a summer sowing system. So it can be harvested as a pod, and it's expensive to extract that seed from the pod. For ceradella, breakdown of hard seededness is inhibited by light. Being an aerial seeded plant that can be harvested, farmers can then take the harvested pods, sow them at 1.5 to 1 centimetre depth at the end of summer, so late February, and those seeds will stay in the ground until the break of the season, and that hard seededness will break down and germinate with the opening rains. This enables the farmer to get his crop sowing program in a timely fashion and avoids leaving those pastures till last. They're sown earlier, they're able to germinate earlier and establish root systems and biomass before going into the colder winter. Having deeper root systems can offer some drought resilience later in the year if you run into a tight spring with the deeper root systems accessing lower soil moisture. Results from this field site will be available in the BCG research summary at the end of the season and trials review day, and on our website. As well, project results from across Australia will be compiled and made available.